So I gave you this piece of paper a minute ago, yes? First thing I want you to do is cut all the way around the outside. Just all the way around the outside, please. For those of you at home, I did put this as an attachment on the lesson. You can print it out or you can make your own. It's totally up to you. Got it done? Okay. What I want you to notice is that this line right here goes all the way to here and stops. And this line right here goes all the way to here and stops. You notice that? Okay. Notice these lines right here are what? What do you think we're going to do with those? We're going to fold them. Okay. So do you want to cut first or do you want to fold first? Fold? Okay. I will tell you it does matter which way you fold. So let's do this first. So I have mine folded, so what I'm going to do is just take these two parts and put them together and cut. And then these two parts together and cut. Does that make sense? So what I have now is this. Okay. I cut the solid lines. I didn't cut this line here at the end, and I didn't cut this line here at the end. Just cut on the solid lines. Guys, what are we talking about today? Quadratics, okay? What do you know about quadratics? So, what do you know about quadratics? What's the apparent function of a quadratic? Y equals x squared, right? That's what makes it a quadratic, is y equals x squared. We dealt with a lot of them during factoring, didn't we? What shape does a quadratic make when you graph it? A parabola, right? Some of you are drawing it with your hands. That's good. It's a parabola, isn't it? Okay. So just some general conversation while everybody's finishing up their cutting. Okay. So I'm going to fold up this top one and the middle one and the bottom one, in fact, because before we even start, I want us to turn it over on the back and write our name. Remember, you're not writing my name, you're writing your name. Got it? So let's go ahead and turn it back over. And let's go ahead and start with standard form. because that may be the one that you're most familiar with. Okay? Standard form. Okay? Y equals, do you remember what standard form is? AX squared plus BX plus, you remember that from factoring, right? Because we had to find A, C, and then B, stuff like that, right? Okay, now I'm going to open up standard forms. Now I see some of you writing in colored pen or colored pencil. That's totally fine for this today. Okay, like all standard form for me is going to be all blue all the way across. And then I'll use a different color for vertex and different color for intercept. Okay, so if you want to do that, you absolutely can. Okay, so there's two specific things we need to know, some other miscellaneous stuff, and then we need to talk about the graph. Okay, our focus is today on quadratics is what? So we're focusing on graphing. Okay, we're focusing on graphing. But would it make sense that I would need to know these two things in order to graph it? Okay, so we're going to start right here. Axis of symmetry for standard form is going to look like negative b over 2a. That's just finding out the b value, writing the opposite of it, dividing it by 2 times the a value. Does that seem difficult? Well, it's not, so good. The vertex in standard form is negative b over 2a, comma, f of negative b over 2a. Now that looks a little messy, right? I agree with you. But what is this? It's the axis of symmetry. In fact, this is the x coordinate of the vertex, and this says x equals. Oh my gosh, it's like a coincidence or something. Yeah, it's not a coincidence, is it? It's on purpose, right? Well, how do we get the y coordinate of the vertex? What does this mean? F of that? What do we do with this? Yeah, we plug it in. Whatever we get for our vertex, we find the value of the function at that value. Yeah? So we take the x value, and we substitute into the equation to find the y value. This is just like the mathy way to write that. Okay? Now you're going to see, hopefully, you're going to see the benefit of each one of these forms in a second. Standard form, vertex form, and intercept form. Okay? The benefit of standard form is that you can immediately see the y-intercept. And the y-intercept is at 0, c. Like c. Yeah? So let's just say that's my parabola.